If you follow Mike Gamble on Twitter, you probably already know that he recently tweeted about Mass Effect, specifically saying that he'll do right by one of Mass Effect's biggest fans, Shinobi 602. But this tweet isn't the most important part of what he tweeted that day. Responding to Gamble's quote tweet is a reply where someone asked a question about Liara. There's been a question burning a hole in my heart since this dropped. Everyone asked, why is Liara there? Why is she uncovering an N7 insignia? Who are the crew in the distance, and what alien races are they, etc. But what I want to know is Liara happy all these years later? And while this person is actually bringing up 5 questions, Gamble specifically replied to the one asking if Liara is happy all these years later. Now, obviously, everyone's definition of happiness is subjective, and Gamble could absolutely be playing with us with his reply. But he replies saying, happy, ... I mean, depends? This is a loaded question and a complicated reply. I posted about this on Twitter, and Nancy was kind enough to make this visual diagram of what happiness could mean to Liara. And this is how I see it too. The diagram breaks up Liara's happiness into 2 major categories, one within Shepard's lifespan and one after Shepard's lifespan. And Liara would most likely be happy if Shepard survived a perfect destroy ending, and this upcoming story took place within Shepard's lifespan, so Shepard would be alive. Or Liara could be happy after Shepard had already passed, but still survived a perfect destroy ending, and then lived out her life. So these are the 2 options that rely on Shepard's survival in the perfect destroy ending that could lead to Liara's happiness. But the part that complicates this is that even if Shepard died in any of the other endings, or lived out their life, Liara could still find happiness if she moved on. Asari understand human lives are much shorter, and it's something the game even specifically tells you that the Asari understand. So does this tweet actually reveal anything? Not particularly, but the wording choices are interesting. Gamble says depends. So if it depends, does it mean that there are multiple factors in whether or not Liara is happy? Or is he saying happiness depends on what you'd consider happiness? If there are multiple factors determining Liara's happiness, that sounds like it could allude to all ending choices being possible. And we know that Mass Effect saving our choices is already possible because Mass Effect already has the Mass Effect archives where you can input all of your choices from the original trilogy. They'd need to expand upon this and make it possible to import into the new game, but I think that's definitely doable since you can already do it with Dragon Age Inquisition. And with regards to the timeline, this has been one major question surrounding the next game, and we don't have any definitive answer right now. Some concept art is very reminiscent of the original trilogy and its timeline, and some is reminiscent of Andromeda and its timeline. The trailer also has references to both the original trilogy and Andromeda. And on top of both of these, Liara can live well beyond 1,000 years old. So we have no idea when this game could take place, and Gamble knows this. BioWare has been pretty secretive when it comes to revealing this information. And I assume that when it is finally revealed, it will probably be a big deal. One thing I will mention though is this quote by a Game Informer journalist made quite a while ago, saying that she had confirmation from BioWare that the next game takes place in the future.
Obviously, we know Liara's much older. I would put her at now around 800 years, given off the trailer, and also I've confirmed that she's much older with the BioWare devs as well. So we know it's very much set in the future.
I haven't heard confirmation of this elsewhere, and while I don't think this is something BioWare would reveal this way, I do trust this journalist. But honestly, who knows? It's also interesting Gamble chose to reply to this tweet, as this tweet specifically says, "Is Liara happy all these years later?" implying a time skip. Gamble is very tactical in his replies, and this was the perfect question to respond to. It is extremely ambiguous in what timeline it's referencing and what happiness is, so Gamble gave the best non-answer possible. It is again leaving us guessing as to whether Liara is happy and what timeline she is in. So what do you think about Gamble's tweet? Do you think Liara looks happy? And do you think Gamble is alluding to possible ending choices being included in the next game? Let me know in the comments, and thank you for watching.